Welcome to The Healing Artist. I'm your host, Frida. Friends, I spent the majority of my life not wanting to be here. I had a catastrophic spiritual awakening in 2019, and at that point, I chose life, and it changed everything. I went deep within, and from that process of massive amounts of meditation, over 250 spiritual texts, working with energy healers, walking meditation, yoga, swimming, nature, I have come to absolutely love doing my inner work. It is my joy, and I want to share that with you. So let's dive in. Hi, friends. Happy Frequency Friday. Oh my goodness. So, Frequency Fridays, we are checking in with my guidance, Elisabeth. I told you about how I studied in 2025 with my teacher, Kim Charlson, and she taught me how to become a semi-trance voice channel. What is that? It means that I have a specific energetic frequency that I am working with. I get into a semi-trance meditative state, and I invite them to speak through my voice. So friends, this is a really funny thing about me. I am really terrible at asking questions or thinking of what question to ask. When guests come on the podcast, I never send them questions ahead of time. We just riff off each other and have a conversation because there's flow and who knows what's going to come, right? I can't think of questions to ask my channel. So I actually want to ask you, if you would like to send in questions, you can comment below this video. You can comment. I'm not going to see this if you comment in a podcast catcher. I just won't, because there's so many different catchers that it goes out to. So I'm going to ask you to send your questions to FridaMaletskyHealingArts@gmail.com. I chose the longest email in the history of the world. I was having this really empowerment moment when I set up my business. It was this is mine. I own this, because I was I've always hidden behind other people. And I was I'm putting my name on everything. I'm really owning my life. And my husband was are you sure you just don't want to make that Frida Healing at Gmail? And I was just Frida Maletsky Healing Arts, own the whole thing. And it's so funny. I mean, once it's saved in your email, it's not a big deal, but typing that bad boy out, oh my goodness gracious. So if you have a question for the Elisabeth frequency, you can email Frida Maletsky, FridaMaletsky, Healing Arts, HealingArts, @gmail.com. I know. It's funny. I'll put it in the show notes. Send your questions for the Elisabeth frequency, because I have to honestly tell you that I can't think of anything. So I sat down to record this podcast for Friday, and I can't think of anything, to the point where I asked my husband, and he's just whatever. He thinks this is all silliness for the most part, and he was just ask ChatGPT. So I was oh, okay, let me do that. So here we go. Are we safe, and will things get better? How should we live in a world changing so fast? Who can we trust? Do our lives still have meaning? What comes next? And then it says, if distilled into one sentence, the collective's question might be, how do we move forward without losing ourselves? So let's ask Elisabeth that question. How do we move forward without losing ourselves? All right, friends, I'm going to go ahead and drop into my practice, and let's see what comes through. How do we move forward without losing ourselves? When was humanity ever found? When was humanity? What do you believe that you are losing? You are losing an illusion. You are losing the illusion of control. There is nothing that you are losing. What you are gaining is your ability to become more in contact with the all that is. This is an invitation. The Great Awakening, this tipping point, this moving towards the new earth, this lighter place, there is one earth that is full and heavy with density, and there is one earth that is rising up and out of the lower vibrational frequencies. It is closer to what you would call heaven on earth. People have more equity and more access. You are at the center of the hourglass. You are at that moment in time when the shift takes place. You are moving from the way that things have been, from a more controlling, top-down, patriarchal society. You are moving into a more lighter, more open, expansive, softer, more heart-centered and connected, community-driven, tribal existence. The day and era of white picket fences and multiple coffee pots and everyone has a lawnmower, 2.5 children and a car are over. This was this moment and time, and you see it in your media. You see it in your pictures, your movies, your books. You see this and you think that is the American dream. That is the thing that we all are working for, and that is what we all deserve. That was a picture in time made popular by Norman Rockwell. That is not true and does not exist. It also is a very certain version of reality that does not include the majority of Americans. It is one version for one small group of people. Now, how do you rebuild so there it is equality and equity for all? How does everyone stand together and be able to have their needs met and be seen? The way of teaching to the test, the way of having one way of doing things, that will no longer serve. That is not what's going to be available moving forward. All of us want different things. All of us are unique in a very special way. When you connect to yourself and bring forward your unique gifts and talents in this world, that is you living your best life in your soul expression in a way that delights you. That is a good use of your life. How do we move forward without losing ourselves? Do you know who you are? Do you know that you are a soul having a human experience? Do you know that you are an aspect of God? Do you know that you are part of the all that is? Do you know that you are made of starlight? Do you know that there are things that you cannot see that are all conscious as well? Do you recognize the fact that everything has a consciousness around you? Do you realize that there is energetic frequency to all that is? There are things that move in your world that you can see. There are things that move in your world that you cannot see. You want to know how to not lose yourself? We ask you if you actually know who you are. How many of you have taken the time to really truly assess, peel back, and uncover your soul essence? Not who your parents wanted you to be, not what religion prescribed, dogma, not what school, college, fellowship, not what your friend group, not what your profession, none of these things, your country, none of these things are who you are. Who you are is a soul having a unique human experience. Yes, you have a personality, absolutely, but you are a soul, and you have to decondition away from all of the things that you were prescribed, you were told you were supposed to be. What is the beautiful essence of who you are? What does it mean to thrill and live inside of the body that you have? That is the answer to your question. Enjoy your body, enjoy yourself, enjoy your food, enjoy your family, enjoy falling in love with every aspect of that of which you are. The dark parts, the things that you would consider your darkness, the shadows, and the aspects of you that you're proud of. The darkness and the light coming together within each and every one of you, fully realized, fully recognized, fully seen, and fully loved. When you love yourself unconditionally, you love yourself completely, that is the direction to walk towards. If all of humanity loved themselves, there would be no fighting or reason for conflict, because absolutely everybody wants something different, and there is more than enough for all of us. The answer that we have for this question is that you do not know who you are. You do not fully see who you are. And so how could you lose anything except the illusion? You are losing the illusion and walking towards the truth. The truth of the matter is that you're a soul having human experience, and you are an aspect of God. Y'all, I really need you to send Elisabeth some questions, because this I really need to, like, some people are so good at just like firing off questions. Like, I want to know this, I want to know this, I want to know this. I am so incredibly not in my logical mind. I don't even think the question, how do we move forward without losing ourselves, is a great question. What did you think of the answer? I have to listen back, but I'm fairly certain the gist of that is, ha ha ha, what do you think you're losing? You're not losing anything. You're a soul having a human experience. You're losing the illusion of control. Yeah. It's so funny because I was talking to my mother and sharing with her about Elisabeth, and she had said something along the lines of, is it a spirit guide? And I think that spirit guides were human at some point, and I do not get the impression that Elisabeth has ever been human. So the notion of they're like very broad. I don't get the sense that you're going to get like this earth-like experiences. It's like she isn't interested in language as much as she is interested in energetic frequency. Something that she wants to teach and share. And that is that, like, moving towards the life that we want, it can be navigated by learning to read the map of our body, by really being embodied, living in ourselves, learning to read ourselves, our bodies as the map individually, and then tuning our frequency to that which we would prefer. So, like, there is a level of what she wants to bring forward that isn't the years of unpacking that energy healing up until this point has been. The talk therapy that is just going over and over and over the same thing. What Elisabeth is bringing forward is that there's like something here we can skip past in a way and just go in with frequency, both the frequency of her words, song, toning, and like actually move the energetic blocks out of the system to get your channel clear so that you can hear your higher self. That is like her jam, as far as I understand at this point. I know it will morph and change because I will morph and change. Something that's really interesting about doing the channeling practice, doing this work, is Elisabeth still is coming through my throat, my existence. So she still has the language that I know, that I would use. Something interesting that I noticed that she said today was Norman Rockwell. And I loved Norman Rockwell when I was a child. I had picture book after picture book after picture book. And is a beautiful, amazing draftsman, incredible artist, beautiful pictures, great color, so charming. But it was like this really when Elisabeth is saying Norman Rockwell, it's like that, all of that stuff that I think of, and it's very white. It's very white. So I think of that, and I love Norman Rockwell as an artist, and simultaneously, it's what I've come to think of with the whole, like when T says, "Make America Great Again," like that kind of thing. It's become associated. So sometimes Elisabeth is speaking through me, but bringing forward, like I'm getting also all of this. So I'm sitting back here and I'm also getting all this other kind of information. Yeah, those words are almost like code for only allowing a certain kind of person to have a positive American experience. Like the dream is only available to some people. And the future that we're moving towards, the feeling I really have is that the future is available to everyone, and all kinds of people. And that there is going to be a special emphasis on, honestly, those that are not currently viewed with, currently sometimes people are viewed with a disability, and I kind of have a feeling that those are the people that are going to be our next thought leaders, because they have the ability to see past the illusion. A lot of what we're living in right now is illusion, and I wonder if that's something that you understand. With the work I do, I just see it. I just understand it. But I didn't used to. So, like, where are you at with that? It's a real question. This is the kind of conversations I have with my woo-woo friends all of the time. And we're, like, speaking this language like we just see it. But it isn't really words, it's a feeling. You just know. Do you know what I'm talking about? Please, if you're on YouTube, it's going to be really easy for me to see comments on YouTube. So write a question. What should we ask Elisabeth? I would love some really concise questions. And it's fine if they're personal. I don't mind. And then also you can reach out to me. I'll have my email in the show notes. freedomlitskyhealingarts@gmail.com. You can ask a question. It's cool if it's for the collective. Do a better job than how are we moving forward without losing ourselves. Seriously. Part of me wants to kind of like have a co-host when I do this, and then the co-host can just read listener questions. The co-host, I want somebody that's like really good at just like asking questions. That is not, my brain doesn't ask questions. I'm just like, surprise me. I love to be surprised by the universe. And I don't really want to know. Like, I like things to be fun, surprising, interesting. Oh, this now. Like, I don't want to know. I don't like predictions. I don't want to know. Also, energy changes all of the time. So, like, predictions, you're reading the energy of the moment. So, there's like a falseness to that too. Also, there's faith. I have a lot of faith. I have a lot of trust. I have a lot of trust in this embodiment and this experience and where I'm at this moment in time. I'm not going to sit around asking, because that's showing that I don't trust the universe, and I do. Surprise me. That's what's fun. That's what's fun for me. Okay. Let's keep going. Let's try this more. Yeah, we are learning and growing together. This is all very new to me. This is me coming out to you, and we're trying it together. So if you are enjoying this, Elisabeth is also going to teach a course in February. She's teaching a class. It is called Frequency. You can check it out on my website. It is 12 classes throughout the month of February. It runs Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays from 7 to 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. It is $333, and that's 12 courses. This is a really reasonably priced thing, and Elisabeth says that if you come to Frequency, you will not be the same person that came in as leaves. She will be tuning you to the frequency of that which you prefer. The classes are 1 hour, and I think that she'll probably do some channeled teaching, and then she'll probably do some like major energy work. It means that your February would probably be pretty intense. If you come take this class, I know when I do really intense energy work, like it's a thing. Like it's a thing. You will feel this in your body and you will change. But if that interests you, go to fridahealing.com and check out the frequency page. I'm going to keep the class small, but I'm kind of going to see who starts to come in and into the space, and it'll sort of like form what she's going to do. She's waiting for that. All right, friends. I hope you have a really wonderful weekend, and so much love to you. I love you. God, universe, source loves you, and I appreciate you being on this crazy adventure with me as we learn and grow together. All right, friends. Bye.